Stone County Extension saves the world.
Another day, another dollar. We're back at it again. This is a special episode. Our first guest will be coming on today. Before they get here, we're going to kind of record some of our stuff. I lead the past couple of days. It's an internal leadership program with the... it's not just extension, like they've got people from all across the division, but it's a lot of fun. We were in Pine Bluff and Lone Oak, touring UAPB, seeing what they were doing over there, and then went to Lone Oak, seeing what there's like an extension center there, and so they've got some specialists housed there.
Like a research station?
There's research stations, and then there's research centers, and then there's extension centers, and they've told us a bunch, and I'm still not clear on what's what, but it's like they're an extension center. Okay. And so...
did you learn anything? Or what did you learn, rather? Yeah,
they, at UAPB, like that's where like they have like the people that would be like aquatic fish type specialists, and then one of the professors there is doing some sweet potato work, and he told us, I guess I can say on the podcast, but he's like, they develop virus-free slips for sweet potatoes, and what they said is, so if you've ever heard you don't want to keep slips year to year on sweet potatoes,
and why is that?
It's a virus, is what he's showing us. And so you say you plant a virus-free slip and then save a slip off that and plant it the next year. That virus has probably started to infect it, and by like 5 or 6 years, like it really, you don't really want to keep your slips because you'll have lower production. Like he showed us a picture in first year from virus-free, big old nice looking sweet potatoes, and then like same slip the next year that that's starting to get infected with the virus. You could just see they're kind of more skinny, spindly, not as big, not as many.
Wow.
But what they do is meristem, a tissue cultivar. Like they cut a little tiny piece and then grow that in like a virus-free medium that has all this nitrogen, phosphorus. It's like it looked like a clear gel, and they grow it in that and produce these virus-free slips, and then he hardens them off. They have a greenhouse, and then they cut, and that's what they had all sorts of varieties. They had some purple ones.
Oh, that's cool.
He said something about there was a white. Apparently the white is sweeter. But what he said is you want to get those stems. He said for like community gardens, he'll send those out. For commercial guys, there's a charge. But
wow, that's cool.
May 1st. We should get some. We could do a little demo out there at the community garden out here. And at Pine Bluff, we went to like their office there at Jefferson County, and they've got a nice little community garden like right there next to it. I took some photos, and that's kind of how I'd like this one to be designed a little bit.
Well, that's cool.
So that was cool. And then, we just kind of did tours, talked to conflict management, and then Jesse got out there, Jesse Boxnick, our outdoor skills coordinator, our instructor. He went through the first shot fundamentals with shotgun, and everybody got to shoot a shotgun. It was fun. Yeah.
And the weather was beautiful.
It was windy. That's
true. We did have a wildfire
warning. It was windy,
warning.
Definitely where we were. He'd like brought everything, but like the atlatls and stuff, but he's it's so windy. I don't need to be risking death. Can you imagine throwing the dart and then it comes back at you?
Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be there for that. Yeah. Those atlatls are super cool, though. He brought them out to one of our outdoor days, and they were wonderful. I think I threw them just as much as the kids.
I think we could do. I think it would be pretty easy to make like a dart thrower. I don't know if we could. That should be one of the.
How would you make the dart?
Out of a piece of bamboo.
Okay.
You could piece of bamboo and
primitive weaponry.
Yeah, but it's part of outdoor skills. Jesse calls it it's like the hook that brings kids in, and teaching them life skills.
Through outdoor skills.
Yeah, through outdoor skills. I like the outdoor skills.
I do too. Not tying not doing the paracord bracelets, but about everything else.
Yeah, I overestimated.
Not tying is not my thing.
I overestimated my ability to do it quickly, and then being able to teach kids.
And I didn't have an ability to do it myself, much less help teach.
But I was thinking about that the other day. I guess it was yesterday when Jesse was talking about it. I was like, yeah, because he's talking about camps, and I thought of the time that I was like, yeah, that was a good deal. Maybe not so much making paracord bracelets, because...
Yeah, they're really handy, though, paracord things. Like, we've got paracord gunsling, and then my husband will make one for his keychain for his different, like our side-by-side and things like that, so that you always have that piece of paracord. And I forgot how many feet was in that bracelet, though. It was quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't remember either. That was 2019.
It's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think our special guest might be here.
All right.
All right, everybody. It's our first time with a guest, and this guest truly needs no introduction. She's one of our favorite peeper.
Peeper. This is gonna stay in.
Peeper the creeper. I'm so sorry. Oh, Kayla. Kayla, or KG, I've known her literally my entire life, and she's also our Stone County treasurer and one of my besties, so
yeah,
happy to have you.
She decided she'd come on and educate us about what...
Well, we thought of a guest that our stupidery wouldn't affect.
Yeah.
We thought you. I'm glad to be out the gate. I scared every one of them at the courthouse and told them they were all next. I was just the first one to go.
Yeah.
We'd be happy to have them.
Yeah. I told them all to get ready. You'd be calling them.
Yep.
So.
And this is fun. It's like we try to be fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
So one of the questions we were going to ask you is, it's a difficult question for us to get, but what do you do as a county treasurer?
Well, I receive all of the monies that are brought into the county from each of the offices that they receive monthly. So like the collector's office, all the taxes that are collected that everyone has to pay, that they love to pay. I receive all those settlements monthly, and then I distribute those, and then pay them out to the tax entities that they're supposed to be paid out to. And then all of the other offices, like our court systems, like our county court and our district court, they get paid out monthly to me for their settlements of like fines and fees and different things like that. And then the sheriff's office, they have their different fines and fees that they collect, and they pay those out to me, and I distribute them out to different entities that I'm supposed to, and then it gets distributed back out and gets paid back out to different places, and some of it gets sent to the state, some of it stays here local, some of it goes to our cities, some goes to our schools. So majority goes to our schools. We really support our schools, which our schools get a lot of the tax money. That's how they, keep going. Operating, yeah. And so, anyway, I also receive money. Receive money from the state. We've got our state turnback money that we receive. I get all of that. We get state land revenue money from state land sales. I get forest reserve money that I have to distribute out. That goes to different entities. And then I just kind of...
And grant money?
Mm-hmm, yeah, we have grants. We have different grants. I receive a lot of different grant monies that I've got to know where it needs to go, and then it usually gets distributed back out and things get paid as we, if it's especially money for the county that we do grants for, like, a lot of the county grants are like, they're reimbursement grants. Most of them, they do the work first. We turn in stuff, then they get reimbursed from based off of what they
done. Actually did.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And then we have to put it back to where it was spent out of, and then we've got Our sheriff's office, they do several grants that they do. I get those. I have to put those in. And a lot of theirs are the same basis. They'll spend it first, and then they get reimbursed once they turn in their receipts, and then they get their reimbursements for what they've spent and bought based off of that grant, what type of grant it is. We have a lot of money generates through my office, but it's pretty much like a pass-through. And really, we were talking about this yesterday. I was talking about with the collector yesterday. It's kind of like each office kind of goes behind the other one, and it's like checks and balances for each office, so to speak. Because, the assessor's got her mapping, at the first of the year, everyone assesses their property. She turns over her data to the collector. Then the collector takes in the taxes based off of what's assessed. And then she generates her monthly report. Then that's turned over to me. And then I take that and the breakdown of how it was paid to her, and I put it in to the entities that it goes to, and I pay those people out. Some of those entities, of course, stay within our county, like our county general and our county road and our county library. Timber tax, which our timber tax does get paid out twice a year. But a lot of the stuff, most of it stays. A lot of people, that's one of the things, the misconception on some things. A lot of people think that our taxes, the county keeps the majority of it. And we don't. A lot of it goes out. Our county general and our county road and our county library, they do get portions of that money.
Yeah.
But 80% of it goes to the schools. And that's where the majority of the taxpayers' money, that when they pay property taxes, that's where it goes back out to, is the schools. We don't keep it within my office or within the county. We send it back out. And so I think that's been one of the big questions, is a lot of people think that we keep it and that's what we spend and that's what we use, and we don't have it. It goes right back out monthly every month. So, but yeah, it's just checks and balances. The clerk side, they pay bills. We also do that. We have the payroll clerk side. They have accounts payable and payroll, and so she also puts in like all of our claims and our bills, and she processes all of that, and then she calls me. And since I'm the holder of the checking account and I have the checks, I will put the checks in and print what she has processed. So that's another thing that's asked to me. I get a lot of calls, like if there's a check that's sent, maybe that's already been paid, or a check that's sent maybe to a wrong address or something, they'll call me because my name is on the check, and they'll say, hey, well, you sent me this check and you've already paid this. And, I'll have to ask them information about it, and they'll say, well, you signed it. You don't know anything about it.
You don't know.
And I'll say, well, I understand that I signed it, but I don't process anything in here. They don't know that until I speak with them, because they just see my name on the check. So they just assume that I do all of that in there, but I don't. That is still a part of that checks and balances thing. You've got one side processing everything. You got my side that's printing it, and then that way we can go back and forth and we can check each other at the end of the month, and we do a clerk match where we go in and I check her expenditure report and I check my expenditure report, and we make sure that we match up, and that's how we know we reconcile every month.
Yeah.
And that's our checks and balances. So it's pretty much what I do every month.
So when so extension, we get some county money. So when I get that quarterly bill, who should I take that to?
To the payroll clerk.
Payroll clerk?
Yep,
right.
to the payroll clerk.
Yeah, not Kayla.
Yeah.
Here you go.
You can, people bring me stuff, and I don't usually say anything. Yeah, I don't usually say anything. I'll just take it and I'll walk it down the hall and give it to them. I know where it needs to go, and I don't care to see faces, because I'm used to dealing with the public, and then I got this job and I don't really deal with the public, and I really like people, so I don't mind if people come in. I'll visit with them and I'll take what they need down wherever they need it, so that's fine.
Who decides how to spend the money?
So we when we do our budget every year, we pass out sheets to each department, and they kind of fill out, in each of their line items what they think they need or are going to spend, or if they want to keep things the same way. And then that is taken to quorum court, and they approve or deny the budget. And then that point forward, that money is allowed to be spent out of those budgets. If there's more that's needed, then, of course, we do an appropriation ordinance at those meetings, and that also gets voted on by the quorum court, and they're really ultimately the ones to decide to appropriate money to be spent. Now, as far as the spending itself on what you can spend on and so on and so forth, each department has the authority on what to spend on what. Now, there's on certain funds, there's certain laws of what you can and cannot buy, and then there's certain amounts where if you go over a certain amount, you have to, put what they call a tag on it, for audit purposes, because it's over a certain amount of money. And then there's also certain things, if you buy that it's over a certain amount of money, you have to also take that to the quorum court as well. I don't know if that necessarily answers your question, but everybody pretty much has the authority to decide what's spent and how it's spent, but they are the ones who appropriate it.
Yeah, the quorum court is made up of your justices of the peace.
Yep.
Stone County, we have 9, is it?
That's right.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
9 districts.
We try to go as often as we can, and we
give our
give
report.
a little report on what we've got going on and stuff. And again, extension we get state funding. There's some federal money, but then in county also
is an important part
is an
of
important
our
part
funding.
and adds quite a bit to our budget that we get. So.
And when people say, why do you talk in counties? Why is it Stone County, or why is it? And these are the reasons, is these funding and the appropriations. And so it's nice, me and KG can speak county. And that's one thing that, people are always like, why is it county? Why is it? And that's because of the property tax and the money divisions and appropriations.
And those quorum court meetings, they're open to the public.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
We also have, sometimes we'll have quarterly meetings as well. Each quorum court member are also a part of different committees. And so some, depending on what committees there are, some of them we have quarterly meetings, or sometimes they'll do a meeting, it just depends on what's needed when.
Yeah, I
depending.
know.
And those are also open to the public.
Are they?
Yeah, they're made known by law. You have to, put those in the paper, advertise those, and we have to send that out. And those are also open to the public. They can.
I didn't know that.
Those.
That's good to know.
So we'll have a quarterly budget meeting. We do quarterly cleanups if anybody needs any more money appropriated that needs to be taken to the quorum court. We go over kind of how everybody's doing on their spending, make sure everybody's staying within their allotted, appropriated, budgeted amounts in their budgets. And, kind of if they're going to need more, especially when it gets closer to the end of the year, you might be kind of getting close to that in some of your lines. And something that's beautiful, I think, that another thing that I think people don't really understand is we have our original budgeted amount, and there's certain lines, and there's so much money in each of those lines. And if you need money, say you don't have enough maybe in this line, but there's enough in this line, you can transfer that, and you're still within your original budgeted amount that's been approved. So you're not adding new money to
You're just
what was
moving it.
budgeted.
Yeah.
You're just moving it from one to another, and it's not new money. It's within your budgeted amount that you originally budgeted to start the year with. And so I think that's one of the questions that we've had. I think there's another question that we've had. A lot of everybody's budgets, we all of us have, and y'all's are included in this, a county general budget. And that's the main one that we have to take to quorum court really and kind of ask, on if we can have money for this or that, have money appropriated for this or that, to be spent for, whatever that is needed. And, but each one of us also have what we call special budgets, and are our special funds. And those are not taxpayer money. That's money that we get, like mine's off of, I can, by state law, take a 2% commission of everything that is brought in that I receipt. So any revenue that's brought into my office, as long as it's not like grant money or things like that, I can receipt it and I can take a 2% commission. And then at the end of the year, all of that commission is distributed back out over all of the funds, so they all get a big lump sum at the end of the year. And then I can take 10% of the total at the end of the year and go into an automation fund to help operate my office. And that way I don't have to spend out of my actual county general fund, my county general treasurer's fund. I can spend out of my county treasurer automation fund, and it's not taxpayer money. It's just money set aside for me to take commission from, and I can spend that without having to go ask for it. I mean, I have to obviously put it into an appropriation ordinance for them to approve, but I have the authority to be able to decide what I'm going to spend it on within, the realms of the law.
Yeah.
So that might be like a new computer or printer for your office.
Exactly. Anything operational for my office. And I found out as coming in as a new treasurer, which I thought was really fascinating, that our treasurer's automation funds, we can, if there's enough money, we can buy a car out of those funds for us.
For business purposes.
Yes, to drive to, our meetings, to drive to the post office, to drive to the bank. We can do that. But the difference between us and, like, say, the county buying a car out of the county general fund, if they bought one out of the county general fund, everybody can use it. It can be like a community car, so to speak. If a treasurer buys a car out of a treasurer's automation fund, the treasurer is the only one that can drive it. It cannot be like a community county car. So a lot of treasurers don't buy. I don't plan to buy one. We're in a small town. Now, bigger cities, I could probably see where they would do that. They'd have to drive. I mean, the post office is a mile, not even maybe a mile from the courthouse.
In these meetings that you go to, there's a lot of law changes. And so that's one thing interesting since you've been in office, understanding that you're going and having to participate, because every time a law changes, that affects our counties and a lot of different things.
Yeah, it does. We just had that one recently with our district court and how we divvy the money up between our district court and our cities. And it's really funny, and I don't know if it's like this with you guys, but each county does things differently.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, like with us, it confused several people with this law change because part of the counties held the district court budget, and then part of the cities held the district court budget. Well, it only affected the people who held it only affected the cities who held the district court budget. So like us, like Stone County, we hold the district court budget. So nothing changed for me. I didn't have to make any changes. The only thing that I had to change was we usually would have to, once we distributed the money that was received for district court every month, their settlements, we would receipt all that, and then Department of Finance and Administration gets a monthly check every month from us, and then City of Mountain View would get a portion. And based off of our percentages they usually would end up with $826 a month is what they would end up with. Well, since this new law changed, now they get half of everything that's brought in from that is collected from district court and county court. But I mean, I'm not county court, I'm sorry, district court. And so they were able to really benefit from that, because that went from $826 a month every month to now it's like it runs from like $3,000 to $5,000 depending on what's brought in. Yeah. So the cities, in our case, the city benefits better because of that, because we held the budget. Now, on vice versa of that, some counties, other counties, their cities hold that budget. So they might have benefited better.
It just depended on who
held the district court budget. And I think a lot of people were really confused, because they all did it differently. And so there's been a lot of questions, and it's been going on since August. And so that was probably one of the biggest law changes since I've been in office, that it's like, well, how are we going to know that we're doing it correctly? And the answer they gave us is, well, if you send your reporting and your money to DF&A, they can tell you how much you're supposed to send them. And so they'll tell you if it's wrong. They'll call you. They'll be calling you and saying, hey, this is the wrong amount of money. You owe us this amount, or you've paid us too much. And I said, I think I asked the question. I said, will they really call us and tell us if we paid them too much? Like, seriously, just like kind of joking. But kind of seriously, too. I mean, did anybody ever really call and say, well, you paid too much? But anyway, they said that they'll know, like, to the penny what you'll owe. And so that made me feel better, like, well, that'll be easy to figure out.
That's another check.
Yeah, it's another thing that'll be like a check and balance thing. Like, it's easy to kind of figure out and kind of navigate. But you also have to have, within that law, you have to have an interlocal agreement with your city of how you're going to split the district court, if you're going to split the district court budget, or who's going to pay what, because some of them, like especially in these smaller counties, and something you were just kind of touched on before, like how we talk about counties.
Yes.
We talk about that too. Like, I know with us, when we go to our meetings, we talk about it that way because they're also divvied out by class size. And so,
And what size class are we?
We are class 2. And I believe that runs between, if you've got between it's like 10,000 something to like 19,000 or something like that. And I think we're sitting around 12.
I was going to say, so we're not real far into
No, we're not real far into a class 2. We're sitting around like 12, like maybe right under 13,000 residents in Stone County. Mm-hmm. And so, but there's 7 classes. And so your class 7 counties is going to be your biggest ones, like, your Fayetteville area, your Little Rock area. Those are the big counties that have a lot of money, a lot more money than what we're seeing, And they've got, a lot more employees and a lot of more like distributions. And even some of those cases, they've got combined offices too. So where they have to, maybe be responsible for maybe not just the treasurer's office, but also the collector's office, they're combined, or maybe the sheriff and collector combined, kind of like we've got our county and circuit clerk combined, so you'll see that in bigger counties, especially there, but they have a lot more money that they're dealing with, and they have a lot more people that they can hire to help deal with that money in the checks and balances. So, but we talk about that a lot. So we kind of had an advantage when that law changed, because we set up an interlocal agreement a long time ago, back in 2014, between the city and the county, to be able to just split the district court budget just 50-50 down the middle.
Okay, and so in a huge change.
It was not. It was not a change at all. The only thing that changed and that really helped was when we redid the paperwork, they just had to change the verbiage on what the new law states. They took the old law verbiage out, and then what the new law states. And then every year from that point forward, anytime we do our budget, if the amount changes on the district court budget, then we'll turn that to the city. And then when they go to pass their budget, they'll pass it at their city council meeting. Yeah, they'll take it to their city council meeting. They'll pass it, and then they cut us a monthly check for half of the total of the district court costs.
Yeah. Well, that's
because
nice.
We have a city share of district court. We share that because we're all in the same court complex. Yeah. And so it actually worked out beautifully for Stone County. Now, some other counties, they are having a big change, a big problem, and it's very confusing, and they can't agree with their cities, or the cities can't come to an agreement with them about how they're going to split it out or what they're going to do, for district court. So there's things like that change every day that it's important, I feel like, to go to these meetings, because if you don't know about these law changes, then you're just going to be in the dark still doing things, like you normally do.
And you're responsible for following the new changes.
Absolutely. And if you don't, they'll let you know about that too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you do get audited, right?
We do.
Yeah, everybody
we get audited every year. Yep.
Yeah.
We sure do. And
which is good.
Yeah.
Everybody, and that's just important that
It is, yeah.
that everybody's checked.
Yep, they check us out real good. I got broken real good that first year, so I was very shell-shocked, we'll just say that.
It's amazing, too, you elected officials, like there's no like special training, which you said you get a mentor
We do.
when you come into office, but there's
Yeah.
no like, here's how to do your treasury work. Like,
Nope, there's a
kind of
website.
understand that a little.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
how it is in extension. It's like figure it out.
Yep. There's a website out there that we have. It's our Association of Arkansas Counties down in Little Rock. They literally will post just like a guideline how-to, so to speak, of each elected official office and what that job entails, what you do, and kind of how to do it. But to me, I'm more of a hands-on person. I got to know what's happening. I got to see it.
Got to be in it.
Yeah, I can't just read something and, oh, okay, I got it, and do it. So
Yeah.
it took me, being kind of in it, and thankfully I followed someone really good, that was very organized and had done it for a long time. And I think a lot of people are not blessed with that. I was blessed in that area. And I think a lot of people are not blessed coming in. They'll have people leave angry and they might delete everything out. You hear these horror stories about, how someone left on bad terms. They're mad. They delete everything out of the system and say, just figure it out,
Oh, man. That
was-
would be awful.
It would be, yeah.
I'm
It
so
really-
glad. Yeah, Carla wouldn't do that to
No,
you.
she was excellent. She was excellent, and she even was so nice. She let me come up there, and sit with her and kind of watch how she did some things before I came in. But there was still just so much to learn that there was no way she could show me absolutely everything there was to do.
Because you have different things throughout the whole
That's
year.
right.
So really,
Yeah, and there's things that are due monthly. There's things that are due quarterly, and things that are due once every 6 months, and then things that are due once a year. And the once a year things is what gets me the most, because it's everything else is pretty repetitive.
Yeah.
You do everything else, really on a monthly basis or a quarterly basis. I can remember those great. And then when you get to that yearly, it's like I've done it maybe three times now. I've got to go back and look how I did it last year so I can remember how to do it and make sure the law didn't change on it, so I'm still doing it correctly.
Yeah.
And they don't call me, and knock me down with it.
Yeah.
Audit time.
I understand a little bit. I'm not dealing with county money, so it's a little more stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had kind of touched on some misconceptions. So you don't you kind of touched on this. Like, you don't decide how that money's spent, say for an office. You're going to, if it's within their account, how does that work?
Right. So honestly, it goes through a chain of command. And of course, the county judge is considered like the CEO of the county. And so you've got your department head, which would be like, say, the elected official of that office. They'll put in something that they've bought, and they code it based off of our budget books that we make up every year. So they'll code it to a line, then they'll bring it over, they'll turn it into the payroll clerk's office, and then she'll look at it, and she'll kind of double check them, to make sure if it's coded correctly and everything. She will turn it over then to the county judge to go through the claims and kind of double check her. So it's kind of a chain of command. 3 people are really looking at it before it actually comes to me.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of under that umbrella, so to speak. So if it's approved through those 3 people to sign off on, then by law I have to print it. I have to cut that check. The only time I can say no, I'm not doing this, is if my actual fund, and that's a misconstrued thing too. We've got funds, which I call my real money. That's the real money. And then on their side, the clerk's side, we call that monopoly money because they're just going off of budgets and lines and what's been appropriated and what's been
the real money.
Right. And not all of the money that's in my funds have been appropriated. We have a certain percentage budgeted, and there's still, so much left over here that can be appropriated, that we've kind of got in reserve, so to speak. And so, but anyway, once it goes through that chain of command, if he signs off on it, he turns it in, then I print it, and then it goes out the door. And so it's got to be approved through those people. And
are you the only one that can write a check?
Yes. Well, yes, because I hold the checking account myself. My name is on the check, and I'm the only one that can sign it. And so that's ultimately why, we do it that way, just because I know a lot of people are like, well, some people have asked me, you don't process it, but you sign it. How can you be okay with signing something that you don't process? Well, again, we fall under that umbrella of there's 3 people checking it, signing off on it before it comes to me, and I'm under that umbrella of a law where, again, by state law, I have to. I don't have a choice. Now, my fund itself, if it's going to throw the fund
then you can
into the red, I can say no, I'm not printing it, because it's going to throw my fund in the red, and I legally cannot do that. But otherwise, I got to send it out the door. And so, and I understand like where people come from when they're like, why on earth would you, sign one of your checks on something that someone turns in that you're not processing? I get that, but I'm also on the flip of that. I'm not going to just take a stack of checks, and I'm not going to, no offense, I love all of the people that I work with, and I trust all of the people that I work with. But rightfully so, none of them, I don't feel like, would take a stack of checks with their names on them and their account numbers and go and say, here's a stack of my checks.
Yeah, just print whatever you need.
You process your checks and just print them and bring them down here and I'll sign them. Because then if you get one that's missing, what happens? I mean, yeah, they're blank, obviously. When you get them, they're a blank check. They go into a printer. Everything's computerized, and so it prints out, and then I sign it once it's printed out. But still, what if one comes up missing? I mean, that's where audit comes in, and they're like, well, hey, where's this check number?
Yeah, and you have to
so
show where
that's why we kind of have our checks and balances, and I hold the checks in my office that have my name and my account number, and that way when she processes it, she can call and say, I've got checks in, can you print them? And I'll print them, and I'll sign them, and we'll send them out the door. And that way, everybody's kind of got a part playing in this, and we can kind of check each other and go behind each other and make sure everything's doing the right way, like it's supposed to be doing. And that transparency's out there. And we can also have proof of what we've done and why we've done it and where it comes. And that's something else, I think, people don't realize. I know a lot of people know this, but a lot of people don't know. Everything is completely public record. People can come in at any time if they don't know, or if they think they know how the money is spent, or if they think money's going here, money's going there. They can walk into my office at any time and say, hey, can you print me a report of this person's budget and their itemized budget detail, which comes from the clerk's side? I can print that too. I can show them the funds. I can give them anything that they ask for because it's public record. Mm-hmm. I can sit with them and show them anything they want to know and tell them anything about it. And, my office is open door. If they want to come, I'll welcome them with open arms. I'm happy to answer anything that they want to know about it. So I think a lot of people don't realize that, if they'll get upset, maybe about a road or get upset about this or that, they think, well, they're just pocketing the money. Well, no, it doesn't work like that. That can't be done. Yeah. Because they have to go through me.
Yeah, and you're not
And that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Sorry about it.
Not on my watch.
I'm not going to jail for nobody. Sorry about it. So, but yeah, I always try to tell anybody when they're upset and think, money's not being spent correctly, or
that they can see exactly
they're
where
more
it's
than
going
welcome.
on.
Yeah, they're more than welcome to come in and see for themselves where it's at, where it's spent, how much we have, whatever they want to see.
That's one of the beauties of America.
Absolutely.
Right there.
Absolutely.
One of your rights as a citizen.
Yep, absolutely. I do have a story, actually. I was thinking about that while you were asking that, and my dad always likes to put me on the spot at these public events that we go to and we have to speak at during these political events. And so, he'll come up and say, well, this is my daughter, yada, yada, Well, we've got these circuit judges running for office, and, there's several of them. And so afterwards, I go through and I shake all their hands, and so he comes up, this is my daughter. He started that spiel again. Here we go. And they're like, oh, yeah. He's like, well, did you know one time, she's our county treasurer here. Well, did you know one time, they could have got her at one time for grand theft auto? And
oh my God,
they'll kind of look at me and they'll kind of look at him, and he'll talk about, how back when I was a teenager, we had a friend that was at his girlfriend's house, and we knew he always left the keys in his car. And I mean, it was just an innocent thing. We were just driving down this small little back street, and there his car was parked in her driveway. Well, there was a little church just right across the street. I mean, literally right across the street. And so we thought it would be funny for my friend to stop, and I'd hop out and I'd run over there and hop in the car, and I'd back it out and go park it in the church parking lot. That way, when he'd come out, he wondered where his car was at, And so I did that. And backstory on that, back then we didn't have cell phones, so your parents couldn't track you.
Yeah.
They couldn't call and find out where you were. Well, I would have a curfew. They'd say, well, be home at this time, even if you're staying with so-and-so. You get home and you tell them, you call me and tell me that you've made it there at this time. So we'd go and we'd call them, and I'd say, well, we're here. We've made it to her house, and they'd say, all right. And then we'd say good night and hang up, and then we'd leave. And we'd go back out, And so that's what we did that night. And so anyway, so I had gotten in that car and I backed out, and we thought we were being stealthy. We was wearing, do-rags, and we had these little black lines under our, I don't know why, but we had these little black lines.
Felt right.
Yeah, we were being stealthy. And so anyway, I got that car and I went over and parked it, and boy, I was just running back across there, and I seen her mom come out on the front porch, and I heard her say, Kayla Gardner, I know that's you, and I'm calling your dad. And I thought, oh no, here we go. And so we booked it just back to her house. And by the time we got back to her house, I had no more got back to her house, and we got to the door, and my dad pulled in. And he said, we're going to go over and apologize. You got an apology to make. So we drove over to the lady's house, and I knocked on the door, and she come out, and I apologized. And boy, she lit into me, and she started telling me, about how I was, she had said I used to be a good kid, and boy, I just been hanging around with this bad crowd of kids, and I was just a little delinquent these days, and
for moving a car.
Yeah, for moving a car, and if I didn't start changing and going and hanging out with some good kids again, one of these days I was going to end up in jail, And that was the part of the story Dad had left out with these circuit judges. He was acting like he had done the right thing, taking us, and he did. Sure, as a parent, he did the right thing, taking us over there. I probably would do my kid the same way.
I've had to do make my kid apologize, but I've had my parents make me go apologize.
And I'd probably make my kid go do that too, but. I mean, she just really lit me up, and I'd already said I was sorry and everything. And boy, my dad finally, he's getting mad over there, and he finally got to a point. He said, "Okay, I think we've had enough, and I think we're done. She's done. She come over here and she apologized, and I think you're done chewing on her. I think we're done. I think we're gonna head on home." We went home. He left that part of the story out where he got mad and let her know real quick that we were done apologizing, and that part of it was over. But he didn't tell him that. So,
but you did.
I sure did though, and it made me so happy. So he don't tell that story anymore. Anytime we go talk to anybody, yeah, he don't tell that one.
He
anymore.
didn't tell your Grand Theft Auto.
No, he don't tell him that Grand Theft Auto story anymore because he knows I'll add that in there when he leaves it out. So,
oh, Roger.
Yeah.
Well, do we just want to finish this one out and it be its own?
Yeah, we can just finish that.
Yeah.
Well, do you think it was pretty informative?
I thought it was good.
I'm hoping.
What time is it?
Did it feel smooth for you?
You feel good?
Yeah, I was fine with it.
I think we could say bye and sign off.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think we can wrap her up.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Come back. Get the feel for it.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
It was good.
Yeah,
I had fun. Yeah.
Well, I think I myself don't have a clue what a treasurer does.
Yeah.
But I do have one more thing before we close out. let's say some youth may be interested in a county office one day. What do you think might be something you suggest, or what experience helped you become a treasurer?
I think my banking background really helped me, and it helped me want to do that job. That was kind of, for me, it was more of a step up from the banking world, and it's not corporate, it's government, so that I kind of wanted to be on that side of it to kind of see how that worked. But I think my banking experience has really helped me to really kind of fit in that role, and kind of helped me be able to figure out the best way to help us gain more revenue in there, because there are things that I can do with certain monies to like invest money and get us some,
and make more money for the county. Which is wonderful.
Get us some more revenue into the county, and I have done that. I've been able to invest some money that we've had in some funds, and we've made right under a couple $100,000 in a year, just off of interest alone for that. And I had negotiated too, like our checking account when we come in. I think that's helped coming from banking, is because like you can go and talk to banks about interest rates, and sometimes they fluctuate and they change, and we've had that same checking account for years, and going in there and saying, hey, we've been at this interest rate for so long, and we've been good customers and loyal customers. What about, is there a possibility maybe we could get a little bit higher interest rate or whatever? And we ended up getting on our checking account, we went from I think it was 0.8% to 2.15. And so my interest on my checking account alone jumped from $7,000 to $8,000 a month to $18,000 to $20,000 a month.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. And so, we had looked at it for the year, and I think it was because I had texted it to one of the other elected officials the other day, because I was just
blown away.
I was blown away. It was unbelievable at how much we had gotten in that checking account. But what we do with that checking account is I distribute that back out. I kind of give a little piece of that pie to all of our funds to kind of have some of that money.
Yeah.
Now, the ones I invested in the CDs, that was money that we had sitting there, that we had gotten off of our 1 cent general sales tax. It was just had kind of grown, and it only got what it would get off of that checking account. And so I thought, well, I could take some of it and I could invest in a CD and get us some more interest money. Just let it grow and let it build for us, and build for the county. So that's what I did on that. And I was pretty proud of that. I think that helped me kind of have an advantage of being able to come and do this job and kind of know that side of it.
To know those were options for you.
Yeah, for sure. But again, there's no training. Like we had talked about before. So I don't really know.
Yeah, as far as that, but at least that background helped you.
I think it helped, and you got to be pretty decent at math, I think, maybe.
So I would hope.
Yeah, I think you got to be pretty decent at math.
I don't think you have to worry about me running against you.
Nor me.
So,
well, I thank you so much for coming.
Well, thanks for having me.
We're thrilled. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I can't wait to go tell one of the next ones when I go there. I like to aggravate them a little bit. That they're next.
Give them a fictional date to scare them.
Oh, okay. I will. I'll give them a date.
It's really not that bad.
It's not. I've enjoyed it. I've had a great time.
We try to keep it informal. So.
Yeah, I like that. I've had a good time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Kayla Meeker, Stone County Treasurer.